VO2 max. Max. What does this mean as an endurance runner? Well, it's pretty much the golden standard when it comes to overall fitness and cardiovascular health. The V stands for volume, the O2 stands for oxygen, and the max stands for maximal. Put that all together, what do you get? VO2 max. It's a measure of how much oxygen your body can use while working at a hard effort. And like I said before, it's an indicator of cardiovascular health and overall fitness. It's said that the higher the VO2 max, the lower risk of heart disease and other cardiovascular issues. So how is this actually measured? Well, there's two different ways you can actually get this measured, and one of the main ones is using your smartwatch. But the thing is that your smartwatch isn't necessarily the most accurate. It's basing the VO2 max off of your heart rate and your pace, and that's it. But the thing is that in order to measure the actual oxygen intake, you need to measure the oxygen intake. That's pretty much what it is. And you need to be able to do this while you're working at your hardest and being pushed to the max or being pushed to the limit. So the other way to do this is actually to get it tested in a lab. And at this time period, you're actually being pushed to failure or pushed to the limit on purpose. Now you can have this done either on a treadmill or on a stationary bike. And the thing is that this is all done within a controlled environment. So you don't have to worry about the weather, you don't have to worry about the temperature. And the thing is that they can actually increase the speed or the pace as well as the resistance. And in this case, it's more of the incline when it comes to a treadmill. And you're hooked up to a machine that actually helps gather all this information. And what happens is you put this mask on that kind of makes you look and sound like Bane. And the whole reason for doing this is to measure the actual flow of oxygen intake into your body and measuring all the concentration coming out. So you're pretty much just looking for a max consumption of oxygen into your body during this session. Now my smartwatch currently says that I'm sitting at a 56 VO2 max, but I'm gonna find out exactly what my VO2 max really is when it comes to a lab test. Getting my VO2 max tested. Curious to know what it is. Let's check it out. Curious to know how far off it is from my Coros watch. Hello.
This is the testing room. The bathroom is on the right. First door on the right.
Okay, perfect.
To wear this mask, this personally is the worst part of it, I think.
Sure.
But you can breathe normally. It's just you wear this and then it connects to there. That's obviously how we get the data. So it's gonna go over like this. So if you want to hold that, please for me. It has to be tight. So does that feel okay in that?
Yep.
So it might be.
That was weird.
Just. I can adjust it. Normally you're gonna have a big red mark on your face back here.
That's cool.
But once I need it to be tight, so once you go in there, it kind of pulls it, and I don't want it to be closed.
No, it's good. I think. further.
1,000 watts. Yeah. That's how, when I did it the other day, I literally was like,
Fine. I feel like
yeah.
I probably could have gone a little bit further. A little bit further. But I wouldn't have stayed there for very long.
Excellent.
Whoosh.
Yeah. And then we look at your recovery as well, because your recovery heart rate is a key indicator of your fitness. So we do it in 2 minutes. You came down 66%. So you went from the 176 to the 111 within 2 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that puts you in superior. When you look at...
Superior.
Yes. We love superior.
So I actually got my lab results in, which I'm actually excited about sharing this information with you real quick. It says that my aerobic threshold is about 150, which I feel like that sounds about right. So when it comes to my easy runs, 150 is the max amount my heart rate should be when it comes to easy effort runs. And it says my anaerobic threshold is at 180 beats per minute, which pretty much makes about sense. Because I always thought that my max heart rate when it comes to working out is about 184, 183. So that's pretty much right on. And it also gives me zones on here, low, moderate, high, and peak performances. So there's that also. So most of the time I feel like when I'm actually training in a marathon training cycle, I'll end up being in the moderate or the high area when it comes to marathon pace specifically. And it's actually very interesting. So my VO2 max, according to this chart here, I peaked at 74.8, which is way off from my actual smartwatch. So again, the numbers don't lie, the test doesn't lie. So it's one of those things where you kind of have to take these smartwatches, you have to take that with a grain of salt and actually get lab tested when it comes to VO2 max. This doesn't necessarily mean it's the end all be all. You don't necessarily have to get these tests done. It's just nice to get an idea of what your overall fitness and cardiovascular health is. After a pretty intense workout, I wanted to make sure I refueled. And since it was a hot summer day, I wanted to make sure I got something nice and cool. I went to this place called Playa Bowls and I got a acai bowl. It was packed with fruits and berries, and I even added a little bit of peanut butter in there, and it definitely hit the spot. This VO2 max test taught me a lot about my overall fitness, and I can use these numbers to help with training. Even though these are just data points, they're very helpful, but we have to remember that effort is just as important as data. It's really about finding the balance between the two.